Every person has two lives. The second one starts when you realize you only have one.
I looked in this one guy's eyes who was ringing the bell to quit, and I saw myself. And I saw what everybody said I was going to be, which was nothing. This is when I realized I was alone on this earth. I have God alone on this earth, and I have to fix everything. I was sick and tired of not facing the fact that I've allowed life to make me feel like a loser.
As usual, I've wrote some shit down, so yeah, let's get into this. See, I've came to the decision that I'm no longer waiting on life to happen. I'm no longer living with the day-to-day mentality of just trying to get by, and I'm no longer letting fear dictate every fucking action I take. And so I finally reached the decision to stick a big middle finger up to fear and worry.
Be fearless. Be fucking fearless. Is that achievable? Maybe, maybe not. But like, be fearless. Because the reality is a lot of people are going to try and spread their fear onto you.
Because I've honestly spent my whole life overthinking like a motherfucker. Thinking, what will she think of me? What will he think of me? What if this scenario goes this way and that? I'm over it. Genuinely. I'm accepting the fact that life's gonna happen no matter how much I overthink, overanalyze, and try to control it. I'm accepting the fact that the life I want to live is never gonna slap me in the face unless I stop waiting around and be man enough to fucking pursue it. Let me get a drink of this shit real quick. Oh yeah. Because last week when I was hitting tricep pushdowns, getting a pump on type shit. Apologies, I don't know why I'm speaking like I'm from the hood. My bad, G. I was listening to an audio from Greg Plitt, and what he said has been stuck in my mind recently. He was giving a speech to his audience, and the basis of what he was saying was that we spend all this time playing it safe in an attempt to preserve our lives. We spend all this time avoiding risks and fearing the future that we forget to actually live. He said when you live like that, yeah, you're alive, but you're not actually living. And that shit hit me for real. Because that's me. That's how I've been living my whole fucking life. I've had goals and so many moments in my life where I've held myself back and completely sabotaged myself because my mind somehow always ends up convincing me, oh, what if I try and something bad happens? What if people think I'm strange for posting content? What if they judge you? What if I actually just shut the fuck up and tried for once and stopped listening to my mind? How about that? Bow, 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 bow. And we back, we live, innit? That's my real voice, by the way. That DDG type shit. Because this YouTuber Togi, I know if you know him, you'll realize he's definitely not the best influence by any means. But can't lie, he low-key has some hidden gems. He said every day you either feed your fears or your dreams. Your fears being that when you get to the end of your life, you're left with unfulfilled potential. And your dreams being whatever the fuck your dreams are. And truthfully, if I'm being honest, for the last year I've been feeding my fears. Because I said I've been taking risks, but I've been playing it safe. Last July I dropped out of uni to pursue this content shit, but didn't even have the balls to show my face on camera. I said I was all in on this, but was too scared to post a fucking TikTok. Explain. How can you call yourself a content creator if you're too scared to do these things? I literally didn't post for 2 whole months when I was consistently getting 600 to 700k views a month because people from where I'm from found my content. That's literally the definition of fucking self-sabotage. And enough with the scripted shit, but if I'm being honest, this last 6 months has caused me to really ask myself, what do I want out of life? Who do I really want to be? Because if I'm being truthfully honest, and as much as I don't want to say this last 6 to 10 months has arguably been the toughest of my life. And that's because, as I said, last July I dropped out of uni, or a degree, if you want to call it that. And I was so scared to tell my family that I dropped out, so I just kept it hidden for a few months. And something that always prevented me from making content early on was that I was so scared of what people would think of me if I created content. And my biggest fear, like the top 5 fears, was what if people I know start watching my content or find my content? I'm gonna feel so embarrassed. They're gonna think I'm cringe as fuck. All of that. And well, what happened 2 months after I dropped out of uni? Everybody finds this channel C7L, and I'm thinking, oh, I remember I was on holidays in Portugal and one of my friends texted me, such and such has found out about C7L, and I was just thinking, no, this can't be happening right now. But looking back, that was a blessing because it made me realize your fears really aren't that bad, because when it happened, I was just thinking, whatever, it's not really that big of a deal. And as the year progressed, I almost felt lost, and it was weird because I love posting content, I love making videos, etc. But something didn't feel right, and it was weird because this is my passion. I've always said go after what you want, and so I was thinking, am I not going after what I really want? Is what's going on? And I realized I wasn't. Yeah, I was making videos that I enjoyed, but I didn't start out to create content to just be a faceless self-improvement guru. And I almost felt like I just started saying things for the sake of it, and I wasn't creating stuff that I really wanted to create. And so around 2 months ago, I started asking myself questions. I started thinking, where do you want to go with your life? And so I've honestly spent weeks thinking about it, and spent so long just overthinking, thinking, is this the right direction? Then no, this isn't. All of this, my mind's just been chaotic, thinking about what do I want out of life. And really I came to the conclusion that if I'm going to suffer and go through the trials and tribulations that it takes to achieve your goals, to achieve your dreams, I may as well go for exactly what I want. Not a few degrees off to the left or right, exactly 100% for what I want. Because even as I'm making this video, I was thinking about it. Why as people do we aim to be mediocre? Why do we aim for mediocrity? Why are we so scared to try and take a risk and see if and what is possible?
But you can't be afraid. That's one thing in life, is you can't be afraid. Before you can have anything, you gotta lose everything. And that's the confinement. You gotta lose that confinement that you have yourself in and the others around you have placed you in. You have to lose that.
Because even when I dropped out of university, yeah, I knew it was a risk, but I thought to myself, yeah, okay, I can drop out of this degree, and what's the worst that will happen? I'll go after this content shit, yeah, maybe I fail, but I can go get a 9 to 5 or something. I even wrote a mission statement, a few lines to keep me motivated when I felt fear, and it was stop playing it scared. Stop playing like you have something to lose, you don't. Worst case scenario, you go after what you want, you fail, learn, and try again. Best case scenario, you fucking win. You live the life you want to fucking live. And by no means am I a gambler, but when it comes to suffering to live a life I don't want to live, or suffering to live my dream fucking life, I'm gonna gamble for that outcome 10 out of 10 times. And that's why I say, why do we aim to be mediocre? Why are we so scared to go after the goals we want? Why do we let all these people's opinions and what they think affect us, when in reality it doesn't fucking matter? Because nobody who ever achieved anything great done it by trying to fit in, so trying to fit in. Greg Plitt even has a quote on mediocrity where he said, normality is what weak people call living, I call it death. And it is death, because it's death of your true personality, your true identity, and the life you want to fucking live. It's death of all of that. And you know it yourself, that when you don't go after what you want and you shy away from who you could be, that flicker in your head, that thought, it simmers deep down and you can never really get rid of it. Because I didn't know I was able to make content. 5 years ago I started this shit. I opened up DaVinci Resolve, which is the editor. Look, it's this. I opened this. Look at the random buttons. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I learned. And now I get compliments about how I edit my videos, but at the start I didn't have a fucking clue how to do it. And in a sense, you almost just have to be delusional. It took me 3.5 years to get 1,000 subs, and by no means am I the most successful person ever, and you obviously know that. I'm a fucking random dude on the internet posting a YouTube video. But it goes to show that if you just actually try, something may happen. Because if you show up, something might happen, but if you don't, you're guaranteed to fail. So why not pursue them goals that you're too scared to tell anyone about? Why not pursue them goals that you think your friends and family will think you're crazy or laugh at you for, or think you're cringe as fuck? Why not pursue them? Why not pursue an extraordinary fucking life? And right now you may be thinking, yeah, but that's great and all, but it's too risky to go after the goals I want. I can't drop out of that shit uni degree that I already hate and don't want to be in, because it's too risky to go after my real goals. Well, I heard that same YouTuber Togi say one of the most motivational things I've probably ever heard and never expected to get from him, but he said, look at the bigger picture. Life is risky. You want to know how risky life is that nobody makes it out alive. Since the moment you took your first fucking breath on this earth, you've been all in. And so if you've been all in since the start, why not go all in on living the life you actually want to live? because at the end of the day, this whole shit is temporary. And yeah, I wanted to say the F word there, but I know some people don't like the swearing, so I'm gonna try restrict myself. So f*** it. So why not take the risk and get out of your comfort zone and go do cool shit, go experience the shit you want to experience. Because even a few weeks ago, me and my close boys on a random side quest.
Don't do that. Don't go like a foot to the other side.
And it was fire. It just fully rejuvenated me.
We show fears, bro. That shit was scary as fuck, but we had to jump. We were scared to jump, so we had to just dive into that shit, you know?
So yeah, I basically made this video for myself, to let myself know that I'm done playing it scared, I'm done playing it safe, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm going all in on the goals I actually want to go on and the direction I want to live my life. I recommend you to do the same. Stop trying to impress everyone, step out of your comfort zone, and go live the life you actually want to live. As always, through hard work we grow. Peace!